And I want to push back a little bit on your pricing, because I think even what you said is still too low. I think for what you want to deliver and the attention to detail that you're wanting to do, I think you should start higher. I mean, I couldn't see a package for less than 800, in my opinion, that fits what you're trying to do. And that doesn't mean that you can't offer introductory rates or like partial trades and partial, you know what I mean, to build your portfolio. But you don't want to set the expectation that you're going to produce a whole freaking commercial for $400.
Success is a lie if you're failing inside. You can't grow a business you hate. Welcome to the Business Reality Check.
Welcome to the Business Reality Check podcast. I'm Jonna.
And I'm Lori. Together we founded Thrive Collective. We're here because we're passionate about helping you show up as the expert you actually are. We know you didn't start your business to become a full-time marketer, and we're tired of seeing great business owners say the best kept secret.
We believe that your online presence should be a true reflection of your expertise, not a source of constant stress. If you're tired of staring at a blank screen, frustrated with graphics that don't look professional, or feeling like you're wasting hours on apps instead of with your clients, you're in the right place.
This podcast is about having the honest conversations that take the guesswork out of your strategy. We're here to help you move past the walls that you've built and help you get in front of your dream clients. We do this with kindness and radical clarity because you deserve a business that works for you, not against you. And if you want to see our faces and feel like you're right here in the room with us, head over to youtube.com/@BizRealityCheckPod to watch, or listen wherever you get your podcasts. Check the podcast notes for all the links and resources from today's episode. And if you're ready for a reality check of your own, we've also included the link to apply to be a guest. We'd love to hear your story.
All right, let's jump into today's episode. All right, today we are sitting down with Haleigh Dean, a mom who is going to school full-time for video production while running her own branding and creative agency on the side. HD Media helps business owners represent their brands with creative, bold, and standout photos and video content. She is growing faster than ever expected, which is a good problem to have, but she came to us and wrote something on her form that made us pause. She started this business to get more time with her kids, and right now, her weekends, the only free times that she has, are going straight to the business. So we want to dig into that today because talent is clearly not the issue. The question is, how do we build this in a way that gives Haleigh her life back? Welcome to the show, Haleigh.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you. And you said that you're passionate about what you do, which is so clear and evident in your work, in our opinion. So we'd love to hear it from you in your own words. What had you come on this specific podcast? What are you hoping to learn?
I'm just really trying to put my name out there more than I'm already doing. Just really kind of to figure out what I'm missing in my business to make it grow even further. So I'm just happy to be here and learn from you guys. So
love that. We all start, I remember my very first, year or month or a couple years of business. And it's hard. It's hard to figure out all those things that swirl around in our head. And it's like, what's right? What isn't right? So I think what I want to start with today is kind of learning about your why, So why did you go into video and photo, and what makes you passionate about working with brands and other businesses?
I'm very passionate about storytelling. I feel like video and photos just tell a story. It captures basically life, I guess. And so I'm really just trying to, like, my why is basically just helping other business owners. It's a lot, like social media, showing up every day and pushing out content, and to have a brand that you truly believe in and that you love, because your branding, like everything, your website is your first impression. And so I just want to help business owners make their first impression an impactful one. So
I think that's great. And I feel like it can be overlooked sometimes, by business owners, or even in the past, I would say maybe undervalued a little bit, but they don't realize that our online presence is so much of our marketing these days. It's not like it used to be where, so-and-so could recommend you and you could live on word of mouth only. It's like there's so many reputation and growth pieces when it comes to online marketing. So visuals really matter. And we are such a visual world. You only have that short window to capture somebody's attention. So it's hard. So you have been going to school for videography, for photography.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, like about that and kind of how that's helped you grow as a business owner.
It's helped me tremendously. I just video, like before, starting school, I didn't think that much went into video. I just thought, you pick up a camera, you video, and then you edit. And so learning like audio and just like the very technical things has been really fun to learn. And then I've got certifications in different, Adobe software. So that's like helped me grow and like, I guess, be more confident in what I can, provide. A lot of people just think, you do just pick up a video camera or a camera and just start shooting and that's it. But there's a lot of little things that go into making a good video. And so, that's pretty much how school has helped, I guess.
There's so many nuances, right, Lori? It's like, Lori is very technical. I'm more of kind of like creative output, but Lori's like behind the scenes and like, she's like, all of these things have to be in place in order for you to have that space to be creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's true. I feel like what I'm hearing you love and enjoy is the technical pieces. And in my way of kind of languaging it, when I talk to people about these things, is it's like logistics disappear. The difficult stuff of a shoot for your client doesn't exist because people like you have those things so on lock. You know how to handle yourself and the equipment and the process, that people can just actually enjoy it, which can be scary because I've done brand shoots before and I don't really love being in front of the camera. Jana and I are here in service of people, not really, not just ourselves. Otherwise, there'd be no reason to get ready and like set myself up to stare at myself. Like, I can't stand it. But it's very interesting to hear. And this is why we start. If you've listened before and you're listening now, we always start with the why. And there are, of course we want to know, but there's little things we pick up on that you either say or don't say that actually help us tailor how we answer the rest of the questions that you might have, not like our recommendations that are going to come up. So you're getting my wheels spinning by talking tech to me. I'm happy to hear this.
I have one more question for the why as we kind of move our way into the who. And so, obviously you mentioned when you kind of filled out the application to be on this podcast that your kids are a big inspiration for you and, just wanting to not have to be in that necessarily like that 9-to-5 job all the time and miss so many of those moments. So I want to talk a little bit about how that factors into your why and what your, business looks like, let's say 3 years down the line when you're working on your business full time, like what, not full time hours, but like full time for you, if that makes sense. And what does it look like? What does your like ideal dream business look like?
Eventually, I see my business being obviously, much bigger. I want to have a team, and not just be like myself, like, because it's a lot, balancing, kids and school, just life, I guess. And so just having like a team that I can, count on. I would like to have my own office. Like I would like for it to be like, you're just branding agency, that's like kind of Emily in Paris vibes. Like I want it to be, just a business really. So
kind of like a bigger scaled where you're kind of maybe calling the big overhead shots, but you have people working underneath you and having their own creative direction, but it fits within your parameters of your brand.
Yes.
I love that. So as we kind of get into that, who are you imagining you serve? And it may not be who you're working with right now, or it could be. We like to offer up a few things when you think about answering this question. It's like, what are the clients that really light you up when you work with them? Which ones bring you fulfillment, but also they're getting stuff out of it. And I think that helps a lot.
So I guess my ideal client is really just somebody that um, doesn't, gasp when I say a price, for the services that they're, inquiring about. The people that I have been dealing with, unfortunately, just aren't seeing my value. And I'm just hopefully trying to find the right people that won't, budge about my pricing and, you know, kind of just make me kind of second guess myself if it's even worth that price. It just kind of makes you feel like, am I even worth, that $200 when in reality I am, but they're starting to kind of just, it makes you have like a mind game going in your head. And so I guess just finding the right people that won't, don't mind doing that and really want to invest in their self and their business, because that's the people I'm looking for. Because branding, you're investing in, you need to invest into branding. Unfortunately, like that's just part of who your business is. You need to show people who you are and things like that. So, yeah, that would be my dream and ideal client.
I was wondering when you said like having a team and talking about your dream related to your why. I think that in school, I could definitely see where that perspective might come from. Now, you and I don't know each other that well, so I'm still learning about you, but I can totally get where that vision might come from. And I think that's really cool and very exciting. But I would love to take like maybe one step back and ask about what's happening there in the shoots, because yes, of course you want people who value you. I'm so glad you said that, but it doesn't answer the who yet. So are we talking like brand style shoots specifically like for professional people, or is it women, or are you talking more about like TikTok influencer who needs those like updated shoots every quarter of the year? Tell me a little bit more.
I'm thinking like my ideal person is someone that, like, where you're having a brand campaign, like that is where I feel most creative and like just super, like it lights me up. Because I don't know, the whole process. So I'd say just somebody that a very high skill business, not someone that's like, a nail tech at their house, like, someone that's very takes their business serious and just, I guess, has a higher skill business. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, I think we're starting to get there. Like, because I think the clearer you are on your who is like, we always believe in reverse engineering everything. So like knowing who your who is and like your why and your what, like this helps you hone your like hone your offer, right? To like actually speak to that person. And so to me, it sounds like very driven. Like, I think maybe you like working with women more than men. Like I did photography for a while and I didn't love working with men.
I don't mind it. Yeah. I mean, if there's a male, business, like I don't care. If they take their branding serious, then it doesn't really matter who, male, female. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. I when I did photography, I noticed a little bit, like I feel like women kind of valued it a little bit more because we tend to be more visual creatures and we put value in things that sometimes other people don't see. And it's not all cut and dry. Like there are plenty of men who understand the value behind having a good, strong brand, but I feel like it's less, they're reaching out to you less. But when they come, it's like, it's beautiful. And so as we keep refining this too, to me, it sounds like driven people who are willing to invest in their business. You're probably going to be speaking to women. Like, even it doesn't mean you're excluding men or you're not going to be working to men, but that tone is going to want to appeal to women. What about age wise? Like, I know you've been kind of working and you haven't found 100% your ideal client, but have you noticed a trend of kind of ages of who is maybe spending money and who isn't pushing back on cost?
I would say the age range I'm trying to go for would be, I would say from 28 to like 35. Like that is my age range, I guess, for my audience that I'm trying to reach. Currently, it's just been people that are my age or a little younger, just because I haven't really been pushing my branding. Photography, like if I just get a photography client, I'm gonna do it, just to build my portfolio and things like that. But I'm really just trying to kind of stray away from doing photography as much and kind of going into the video element, really like hardcore. So
I'm glad you said that. So that makes me think of product-based businesses. Are you thinking product-based businesses? Tell me more about these women's businesses.
So I haven't worked with a lot of businesses, unfortunately, just yet, but
we're dreaming together. We're imagining
yeah.
this like magic wand in hand. We're like envisioning her together. So like, what would she like? Let's think industry, service-based, product-based.
Mostly like service-based is what I would prefer. I mean, I wouldn't mind working with like a restaurant or, but that's kind of it's product and service, so I don't know. But like restaurants, realtors, like just a higher scale business, like not a nail tech, kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, I just want to make one note. In case you're a nail tech and you're listening in, there are girlies who make $1,000 a day as a nail tech. And I just want to say,
yeah,
you could be balling, girl. You could be balling. But
yes.
I hear what you're saying too, Haleigh.
You're like I'm not trying to work with like a home nail tech that is in their apartment kind of thing. Like, I mean, I don't mind working with them, but it would have to be in a studio. Like, I just am a very visual person and I want it to be the best for them and their business. So I'm seeing things up from an aesthetic perspective. And I want to make it, look good. But that's my ideal client, is someone like that. Yeah.
That does. So it would be service-based. I think Jonna can stand by me and say, like, if you're in a studio, it may not make the most sense to work with like a restaurant where they're going to need like on-site photo video for thing, that would showcase their kitchen and facility. But a service-based person who has not the physical stuff would make sense to need a studio and want to come to a studio to maybe show, like when we've done brand shoots, we'll have like our notebook, our computer, talking on the phone, like the actions of our service-based businesses.
Yes.
So, and with the video element, are you also thinking about like creating reels? What do you want to do with the video elements as the output?
So the video would be mainly used for their website, or just video that they can like promote something. Like if they're launching, something new, like maybe they're a branding agency as well and they're launching a new course book or, something similar to that. That's, yeah.
Today's episode is brought to you by Rebalanced Books. You started your business because you love what you do, not because you wanted to spend your Sunday nights crying over spreadsheets, tracking down random receipts, or staring blankly at tax forms. If you're completely overwhelmed by your numbers and secretly terrified you're doing your taxes wrong, you're definitely not alone, but you are draining your energy. That's where Rebalanced Books comes in. Whether you're flying solo, running a small business, or managing a growing team, Kristen and her expert crew take that financial stress completely off your plate. They specialize in rescuing overwhelmed business owners with deep dive bookkeeping cleanups, custom QuickBooks setups, and seamless payroll management. They handle everything securely, no matter where you're located. It's time to stop drowning in the mundane tasks and get back to doing what you actually love. Let them take care of your books so you can take care of business. Head over to rebalancedbooks.com today to get your fresh start. That's rebalancedbooks.com. Okay, so kind of like commercial, like not, traditional commercial, but like commercial style.
Yeah, not, I will do, social media. Like if you need a TikTok, you want like professional looking video, but for TikToks or stuff like that, I can do that. But I'm looking at it more from like a cinematic, like commercial perspective, like actual high quality video.
That makes sense. Okay, so talking about like, I think restaurants would be great. I think, like something like that where you could come on site and capture video and get photos and kind of bring together the different creative things that you like to do, I think would be great.
Or even like a landscape business, like showing the process of like, building whatever they're working on, or just things like that. Like I don't mind traveling to, I would love to go to people's like place of business. Like that's what I would, want, versus booking a studio, just because it's cost for me. But yeah, so.
Okay, so like on-site shoots would be the preference, and studios are kind
Yes.
of a backup plan. And like,
Yeah.
going back to the nail tech, like not the nail tech, but the salon as a whole, it's like a high level salon, and you can go in there and capture content of all the different facets of their business. So you're looking for businesses with a certain budget. I think that's a big part of it, is like they have to be a successful business, which, as we get into the further steps down, there's like a whole different way to approach these kind of businesses than it would be someone with a smaller budget, who can drop, up to like 500, because what you're doing to me sounds like a lot higher level, price point wise. It's a lot more intensive. There's a lot of editing. If you're doing any kind of audio, there's a lot of equipment that you'll have to invest in, of course, to to get all of these things. So do you have an idea of like what you want to charge? And it doesn't have to be what you're charging now. This is your down the line, like what you want to start out charging for these packages.
I mean, eventually I would love to like my lowest package, like starting out at like 400 or 500, going up to, 1,000. That'd be the ideal in the next few years, as I, get better and just build my portfolio. So yeah, that would be my ideal price point for my business.
And how often do you imagine that these ideal clients would like book with you for your services?
I think down, the line, I feel like my business will be not where it's at right now. And so it will be, I feel like, easier, because I will be talking and networking with the right people that will not budge and will pay for videos for their business.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So it's like, because I'm thinking of a high established brand, right? And they're going to want fresh content on a regular basis, whether it's, maybe every quarter or it's more frequently than that. They're regularly investing, they're launching new things or new services that they need coverage for in marketing assets. Okay. Lori, you look like you have a question.
I'm just thinking about everything you're saying, and I hope that the listeners are really respecting the work that Haleigh is putting in here, because it's not easy to be in this seat. It's hard to like think of these things, and you want to say sometimes the right thing, but you also want to say the right thing for you. And I just give you so much credit for coming in here. And so if you're listening, drop her a comment, please give her a little bit of love, support, an emoji, something. And also put yourself in her shoes. A lot of people who come on this podcast have trouble pinpointing the who. That's a bit tough because you are looking in the future, but I want to give you a distinction that I think will really help. I want you to consider that right now you've got your for now money. Say yes to whatever, say no to whatever. And in your brain, you just call it my for now money. That has nothing to do with the brand you're building. And I think it gives you a little bit of relief to just recognize that the right now is not forever. And a lot of people need to hear that. And what we're talking about, what you're going to update your website and socials with, that's going to look more like the forever, the longer term, not forever because things change, but I'm sort of hearing like you want people who are already proven in their business. They're already making money, mostly focused on women. You want to go on site. And you said you had this dream of kind of like, I think you said having a studio and also a team. Did you say that in the beginning?
Yes.
Okay.
I want an office space that's like,
an office for your team, you're not talking like a studio suite.
Where I would have that as like my vision is to have that as well for clients to come in if they want, client or video shot and they want to come into my office, kind of just like, I want it to be like a one-stop shop for everything branding and marketing, really, for any of my clients and businesses.
And that is different than what you've said. To have a one-stop shop and to be known as video is a very different thing. which one is the dream? I want you to like be confident in what you want, because it doesn't matter what I think. It matters what you think.
Yeah, I mostly want to provide video and photo. Like that's my main core services, as well as I can offer social media management. I can do business cards. I can do those like little, branding things that people, might need. So, but I want to focus on video. Like that's my main focus at the moment. Yes.
So maybe the social media, the business cards, things like that, that's more of the for now money as opposed to like the long-term goal. Or is it building that into the long-term goal and having someone on your team that manages those pieces so you're not personally executing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So more something like full scale.
Yes.
And ideally you're not the person doing it in the long run. So that could be something you add later, like when you have that person in place, that because it can be really hard to find reliable people, who live up to the expectations that you have. They have to reflect your quality of work. So I want to end kind of the who with, I just want to hear something beautiful and happy. So I want you to describe a shoot that you've done recently that you've loved, that you walked away from like feeling so proud of yourself, so energized in your work and excited to, do the next thing.
I would say I just recently I have like ambassadors for my business, and I had like a whole like brand shoot basically for me and my business. So I got like all these different shirts made and had my ambassadors wear those, and just like having all those women together really was like, this is like something, this idea is like exactly what I want to do, like for other people, and to be able to experience this with their business. And it just felt like a campaign, like, shoot. And it was just really fun to be surrounded by different women and just, have fun. So it was really fun.
I love that. I love it. Okay. So now as we move into your what, I want to talk a little bit about what you're offering right now in your business. Like what services are you putting out there, on social media, on your website? Like what are you offering?
So right now, obviously, I'm offering photos, but I'm really trying to get more into the video space. So I'm trying to offer, a cheaper rate, just so I can add my portfolio and kind of get the practice. And then I offer business cards. It's not something that I like push out a whole lot, but I do offer business cards and designing them, printing them out. And so I've had a social media client in the past, but it wasn't like something that I'm like pushing. She just found me and, knew that I did what I did. So that just kind of worked out, but that's not something that I really push out, but mainly photos is what I'm promoting at the moment.
Okay. So promoting the photos right now, building up your portfolio, trying to maybe, kind of upsell like a video package with your photos. So you're ideally kind of building that portfolio at the same time. Do you have, like, I know you're going to school. Are you doing like portfolio pieces in school that you can use to market your business as well?
Yes, I am. And I do have a lot of portfolio pieces. I made a music video, which is probably my favorite because I took the most time on it. But I feel like the other ones that I did was it just wasn't what I would like to shoot. It was kind of just a prompt given to me and I had to execute it pretty much. And so they're not like my favorite. I was just trying to get through it because it wasn't very like, I didn't get to, let my creativity shine. So I do have some portfolio pieces, but that's why I'm trying to promote the video and get people in so that I can show people what I'm capable of, not just saying it, because I can say all I want that I'm good at video, but showing it is another thing. So
I love hearing you say that, and I'm actually really glad you're saying that, because naming it is definitely something I'd like to see you do. Very specifically, we talk a lot about how we don't have big attention spans anymore because of all this short form content that comes in and changes things. So when I heard you talking about your who, we touched on the what, you're talking kind of like ad style videos. And when I think of those things, website, I think Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Insta ads. I think about all those things. So just to be clear, is that one of the kinds of videos you are talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think immediately if you were to name that and showcase some of those videos, and for anyone listening too, when you build your portfolio, you don't have to showcase things that were paid for. You can showcase anything that represents your art, your artistry, your skill.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in a wonderful position to be able to put things on your website that look like the videos that you want to produce, even if they weren't paid for yet, because it still has full integrity that it is your work. That's what matters when they hire you. So for me, that clarifies a lot, because I've been wondering, where do we take Haleigh on the next step? And if video is what you want to be doing, I think that is such a great way to connect with people who really do need meaningful, not only website video, because again, we're all visual, but a lot of us are trying to run ads and all you end up producing is a lot of like this AI slop that we're hearing about. And it's just not a good representation of the brand.
No, yeah, it's really, and I feel like it's, at first people were super excited and they're like, oh, this is really cool, you can do this. And now everyone is so burnt out and they're like, it's such like an ick, it's like that instant ick for people. And people don't, like, business owners don't realize it and they just put it out there. And it's like they're not realizing how many people they're turning off by not representing themselves accurately or like showing real footage of something, and it's a weird world. And I think we're seeing a need for genuine, authentic content, like more and more, like people are craving it. And so I think you're in a really good point. Like you're at the right time to offer it and push it. And businesses who do value their customers and their like long-term value and their growth in themselves are going to see the value in it. So where are you kind of promoting your videography services right now? Because we looked at your website and we didn't see like pricing for videography yet. And I know you're still in the very beginning. So I kind of want to know, where are you looking for those opportunities?
I honestly just haven't been promoting it just because I haven't had the people to do video for, just because I just haven't really been promoting it, honestly. I've been promoting my photo more because I know it's a quick edit. It's quick, and it's so easy to just put it out. Instead of video, it's a lot more editing and a lot more time goes into it. And I just haven't found the people to do video for, but I do have some clients lined up in the next, month or so to do video for. So I'm really excited to get in it and run with it, basically.
Good.
That's very exciting. And I think that the quickest way to get people is to show them what you can do. So if there's anything you take away, log off, go to your website, get video immediately showing on your site so we can see what you can produce. Because you've said you have video you can put up there. So I think a lot of us, we don't not do stuff because we're not intelligent. It's a knowledge gap and that we just don't know either what to do first, or if we take the first step, then what? And then we all kind of just get stuck. So I think if John and I have looked at what next steps make sense, I think put up some videos so people know. And also you got to tell people a little bit more specifically and clearly after looking at your site. If you're targeting young millennials, you have got to lay out what it is, but you got to do it also succinctly. So it can't just be a number and then say like 20 photos, X number. We are anxious and worried about what does that mean and where is it? How does it work? And we need more of that information. So I think
that's what my plan is for the next month or so, is to actually create my own commercial for my business. So I'm building a whole new website. So I'm going to have it to show what you're going to be getting, because I want people to know this is what you're going to get when you book with me. This is kind of quality content that you can expect. And I want to make it simpler for people to know how they can book, when they can book, and let's get this ball rolling kind of thing. Because I feel like it's kind of confusing on how to book me, what am I available kind of thing. And my messenger is just like full with messages because it's just very unorganized, and I'm trying to get it where it's organized and it's not so stressful for me as a business owner, because it can be just like chaotic. And so I'm trying to like get that under control so that I feel like that will help a lot with my business and just everything. So
yeah, I agree. When I first started my business, I was very disorganized. Like I was more creative than I was systemized.
yeah.
And I met Lori early on, which was great because she was like, hey, look at this cool thing called the Google Calendar. You can like schedule stuff in it. And honestly, like I live by my Google Calendar now. So like it worked and it stuck, and everything that I do, whether it's taking my daughter to an appointment or like wanting to read or write in my book, like it's in my calendar. Okay. Like I put everything in there because if I don't, it won't be as important for me. So like, I know you're very, focused. You want to have family time. Like you don't want to take that time away. So building in time blocking for like, this is a no booking time. Like I'm spending this time with my family. It's off limits to work, and not just like taking jobs, but also doing behind the scenes work, like working on your website. And then on the flip side of that, carving out that time and being like, I'm going to work on my website during this time. So y'all got to leave me alone. I'm going to focus on this. Don't bother me because I'm going to be real productive for these 3 hours. But then our time is after that and we're going to enjoy it together. Because we don't want you to get burnt out. And that's like the worst feeling because you're not motivated to do stuff because it's just like, whoa, it's so draining,
Yeah.
And we don't want you to feel like that. But we're super excited to hear that you're working on a new website. I like as soon as you get it up or even before you publish it, like share it with us so we can take a look. Because I want to see you market not for your now money, but for your future business money.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you can't like go in the Oklahoma City girls group and be like, hey, I'm doing Western shoots this weekend. They're $95. You get, 7 images, whatever. Like that doesn't matter. But don't put that on your website because that's not who you want to build your business around. So on your website, talk to those dream clients. And I want to push back a little bit on your pricing because I think even what you said is still too low. I think for what you want to deliver and the attention to detail that you're wanting to do, I think you should start higher. I mean, I couldn't see a package for less than 800, in my opinion, that fits what you're trying to do. And that doesn't mean that you can't offer introductory rates or partial trades and partial, you know what I mean, to build your portfolio. But you don't want to set the expectation that you're going to produce a whole freaking commercial for $400. That's just not.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll still attract that same kind of client who isn't going to realize your value and is like going to do it maybe one time and they're like, oh, that's not it. But if you're working with, a high level real estate agent who wants, like they're selling $1 million homes and they want you to come and get video walkthroughs of new houses every month and they're paying you $800 a house, right? Like that's the kind of clientele that we want, that value, that repeats. Like you said, landscaping, there's high-end landscaping companies where they're paying, they're getting paid $30,000-$40,000 to do a landscaping job in someone's house. Like that's what they're going to invest $1,000+ in to get good content of it and get photos and video of their work. So I don't want you to do all this work and then still kind of fall in the same trap of like,
lowballing myself. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a bad habit.
Imposter syndrome is real. Like we've all been there and we know that it's a real thing, but we don't want you to put yourself in that box or put yourself in that trap. You are rising above it. It doesn't mean that you can't do stuff for the for now money. Like I said, it doesn't have to be in your website or even your marketing pages, but like you can put it out on your personal page. You can put it out in the groups. We all need like now money. If I'm going on vacation, I'll do some weird stuff for now money. Okay. Like I want spending money. That's okay.
And I also want to add, like, I feel like if we touch a little bit on the what of like what you're delivering, what can you say is like your angle or your perspective? Because when it comes to marketing, we want to be able to language what's the problem you're solving for people, how you uniquely solve that problem. And you don't find a lot of video production. It is not like there's 20, 30 different video typically in an area. because it is a lot harder to produce. Have you thought about like what you might call your unique selling points or anything like that?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, unique selling points would be like your business's thing. So there's this wedding company that we love, and they talk about themselves as like the weird, wonderful, wildly different, rad love alternative. Like that's their focus. They take on these clients, they do photos and videos for weddings, and like if you are their people, you're like, yep, signing the hell up immediately.
Yeah.
So when the branding comes through, I'd love to just dabble with you a little bit, since we're talking about what, is it like a production lens? Is it because you've got certifications? What kind of unique mix of wonderfulness do you bring that when you tell people, you can stand on your business and be like, that's why you pay me $800?
I would just say like the visuals. I'm a very like visual person. Like I love to create stuff to make I don't know how to explain it, like for it to be just visually like aesthetic and pleasing to the eye, I guess. That is kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, I think, and I've kind of heard you, goodness, I can't talk today either, heard you say this a few times, that you're very like visually focused. And for me, like my mind jumps to fashion shoots, like high level, maybe more like editorial. When I look at your work, I see more editorial, more like Vogue style, like where it's more kind of artsy, like slightly gauche and like over the top. But it reminds me of like watching Project Runway, right? Like where you're trying to be a little bit more extraordinary, a little bit more unique, as opposed to just like, okay, we're going to take pictures with this product or things like that. Like, I feel like you're wanting to have a creative lens. You're not wanting to just take somebody's product and be like, that you want them to give you creative direction because you are the creative director in this situation. You want them to trust your vision and what you're going to do. Like kind of like how an interior designer would come in and get, an idea, but they're the ones who make the decisions and transform the space. You're transforming their idea into this whole big creative direction.
Yeah.
So I think maybe even reframing as you keep thinking about this, and it can go beyond this conversation, but like thinking about who your dream client really is, because to me, that doesn't say landscaping. It says like, I do a lot of stuff in the area. Obviously, I have several businesses. And so I do a lot of different events. And I went to a fashion event and it was great. They had like, I think 8 different local designers who were kind of up and coming designers come out and walk the runway and showcase like their creations that they had handmade and talk about their businesses. And I've also been on the other side of that, where I have hired someone to produce a commercial for like a infomercial style product. And I mean, we paid that videographer $8,500 to produce this commercial. And it was not super creative. I mean, it was very cut and dry. It was like showing the functionality of something. And I feel like you would hate that after like 4 shoots of it. You would be like, this is so tedious.
Yeah.
So, and I saw the pictures of kind of like that Bridgerton-esque shoot that you did. Again, very editorial, very like, I could see that in a magazine. And so, you talked a little bit about service, but I'm almost hearing product and like brand presence more than I am service. A little bit. Like, I feel like in service, you're going to get trapped working with someone who probably still isn't your client. We've worked with a lot of real estate agencies, like, they're pretty picky. And I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. Like they want what they want. Like if you go, like obviously going to shoot a home is a lot, you're going to make money on that. Like if you're going to shoot a luxury home, but there's not going to be a lot of creativity to it. I have worked with a big food company. We worked with like a national food company and got to do styled shoots for that. And that was a little bit more fun because we got to like go and set up this whole like outdoor picnic and like bring in models and things like that. And while it was still more business and like corporate than it would have been like creative and editorial, there still was a lot of creative freedom, right? You got to style the set and bring all the different people and pick out the models that make sense. So I think, thinking a little bit about who you really want to work with
Yeah, I feel like that's my biggest struggle because I love both. And that's kind of what I've been struggling with because I'm gonna be getting a job like when I'm done with school. And so, kind of figuring out like what is it that I want to do when it comes to video because I want to do so much, and that's always been my biggest problem is I want to do so much creating wise, and so it's kind of just trying to figure out like what is it that you really want to do is my biggest struggle. So.
I think it's a good time for you to dabble, and it's okay for the for now money opportunities to try a bunch of different things until you are 100% certain of who you want to name. But I definitely
Yeah.
align with Donna in hearing what you've been saying. I can totally see some of the more boutique higher end luxury, like these things that you can bring to
Yeah.
life. Something we talked about in an episode we just recorded is like most women we talk to are multi-passionate or very creative in a lot of different directions. And so something we say is like, where do you feel it's the easiest to ask for the money? And if you can't or struggle, that's probably not the thing to monetize. There could be things that are hobbies or trades that you do. But the thing that's very easy to be like, oh girl, it's $1,000. Come on in. Like, I got you, you got me, let's go. That's the direction to go.
Yeah.
But it's okay to dabble. Donna and I have had that time in our lives where we tried a whole bunch of different types of services, industries, and things. And the sooner you can be honest with yourself about what you hate, the better it will be.
Yeah.
You can still keep developing. So I'm in terms of the how, like how you're, building your stuff and delivering your stuff. What are you using for your new website? What platform?
I was gonna use Squarespace, but I'm like still trying to figure out which website builder that I want to use. So I'm trying to figure all that out, but yeah.
Okay. And you're thinking about automations, follow-ups,
Yeah.
booking appointments, being able to have that be more readily available, click a
Yes.
button, book with you, and having it
Yes.
be the appropriate time. So if it needs to be
Yeah.
like 2 hours for like prep and then shoot, you're thinking about the touch points and then how you're going to be able to, because I can tell you we've worked with everything. Okay, we worked with Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, blah, 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 web, Google sites, WordPress, Go High Level, the list goes on. It's ridiculous. We did it on purpose too. We tested a lot of things because we want to be able to be people who can give good advice. You want to make sure it's something that is not ridiculously painful for you to learn.
Yeah.
And think about the cost of the add-on. So if it comes with stuff like Squarespace is great, but then there are times where you're gonna have to upgrade and pay more. And then like, is it worth it? Is it worth spending X dollars on the email versus maybe using a free email service for now until we get more paying customers and then we can upgrade. It would be easy to upgrade in something like Squarespace. We're also partners with Google, so we can get you 10% off Google Workspace. Definitely get a professional domain email. Have you already bought your domain?
My dad has because he's very good with the behind the scenes stuff, business stuff, and I'm not. So he's helped me a lot with that. I've just kind of been trying to, finish with school and, figure out like what it is that I'm really trying to do. So
I'm glad you said that too. I want to make sure that you give yourself, like real and true permission to be in a discovery of something. It is not easy to be a human and be in transition. We're not wired for that. But what I'm hearing you say is like, you are in this point where you're taking classes, discovering yourself, finding what you want, love, hate, all that. Own that. It's okay to not know. It's okay to discover. It's okay to like try a couple things and charge people or trade. John and I love doing trades, trading this for nails, we did social media for haircuts and all kind of, we can go on and on. But I hope you give yourself real and true permission to try some things first, because I think you need a little bit of that to find your love and that soul thing that you're going to be like, I'm so sure. I'm so sure. And in the meantime, I think you've got some new, especially after today, like language for what you can say, especially because Jonna's point with the money, if you train people that video costs $400, you are impacting an industry. Now you're part of a video industry. So when you become a professional, it's important to teach people what that cost is, whether it's you, someone else, the cost is going to be competitive, but it's what you bring that only Haleigh in the whole world can bring. So I feel better having talked to you now that you can more confidently say no as a complete sentence, or look for some creative ways to trade or connect with people a little bit more, and dabble and have a little bit of fun. Things needs to be a little bit more of a fun time, not like a heavy, like, I have to make all these decisions, or I'm ready to give up, or I don't know. Like, on the other side of like, I don't know or no is like everything, empty slate, which can be overwhelming, but it's a really cool possibility or set of possibilities that you get to like step into. So I want to give you some of that permission to just explore, because Donna too, she's more of a creative like you. And I feel like watching her explore is such a cool thing, because she can discover and find all the ways that is her in every expression. And I do want to say too, as you're targeting people who've got some money and who have an established business, make sure you claim your free Google business listing. I didn't see it for you. I'm not in your area, so it's possible it didn't come up for me right away, but make sure you do that. And when you're posting your content, you can actually post to Google. People don't know that. You can post content to your Google business listing. Start doing that, because it will help the words that you put can be searchable and findable in Google searches.
Okay.
And so the people you've worked with, this is another thing we tell everyone, friends, family, clients, anyone who can honestly speak to your skills, attitude, personality, have them start leaving you Google reviews. I wouldn't recommend Facebook. We would recommend Google reviews.
Okay.
That will help you a lot, especially when people are looking and comparing, like, should I work with her? What do people have to say? Start doing that. Start with the people who already love you.
Definitely. Like when I hired a videographer, like I went straight to Google and I reached out, and there was not a lot of like high level video producers in this area, like, for what I was looking for. And I reached out to, I think 3 people is who I reached out to, and they were all, $8,000 to $12,000 for, I think what we produced was less than 90 seconds. Like it was, I'm not talking about like we weren't producing a 30-minute or a 15-minute infomercial. It was a 90-second commercial that was produced. And there was a lot of things that went into that. But, thinking about those things that you offer that make you unique, like you talked about, that creative direction, like I will help you choose your outfits and work with the hair and makeup artist to style everybody. I'll select models that represent your business, and, kind of painting the picture of how you are more than just taking pictures or videos, because there's a million content creators out there, right? Who will be like, yeah, I can come take video. It's a different skill set. It's a different lens.
Yeah.
So like understanding your value, and whether that's like saying affirmations to yourself in the mirror before you start the day, like I'm freaking awesome. I see things differently than other people. And like Lori said, giving yourself permission to explore. Like we're friends on Facebook, so I get to see your posts. And so I see, you post things about like, I'm not doing free shoots, which is great, like completely value your work. But at the same time you do, you kind of have like the Western styled shoot going on, which is great, like, because you're trying to expand your portfolio and do things. But I invite you to take on projects that creatively fulfill you, like that are leading towards what you want to do. So maybe approaching like a clothing line or something like that, and offering them an editorial shoot and like playing with it just to see if you like it, and being like, hey, if you let me do this, I'm going to be using all this stuff in my portfolio. And they have to like agree to your terms, right? Like it's like, that's what it is. But it's for you, it's not for them. And it has nothing to do with like what they're getting out of it. Really, it has to do with what you're getting out of it.
I agree. And I think how you would do that, in our perspective, based on what we've seen work, sending a DM, going in person, calling them, it wouldn't be like a post per se. I just want to clarify, because a lot of us who are born or used to social media, like making posts is like how we tend to like how the world, what's going on with us. And that's totally fine. But I find that it doesn't work because people don't stumble upon stuff usually that way. Like, especially if you don't know them or you're not like friends of friends or whatever. So like finding them using Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, finding the people. And then I've done this too. I have cold called or DM, but not from like a sales. I'm not selling them. I'm just like, I saw you on LinkedIn. I'm a human. We're in the same space. I'd love to know how to collaborate. Do you want to have coffee sometime? And I'm still friends with her. And I met people from this person. And she was like, I love that you did that. So I just want to throw a little bit of like my how, since you can tell I'm the systems person of like,
Yeah.
I want to make the money sooner than later.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone, shoot a text, send a DM, go buy, especially if you go buy. I mean, if you've ever heard of the thing that they say is like possession is 9/10 of the law. There's a lot, that's a real thing, but I've been in sales. So in sales, what we used to do, if you'd walk in the store, I would walk up to you and I would hand you this thing and you would just naturally take it and people would be like, what is happening in this weird interaction? You walk in their store, that's going to be a lot harder to be like, no way. Because you're like, wow, this woman showed up. Like, dang, this is cool, you know? And be ready to have numbers. Be like, you know, it's normally 1,000, but like, let's talk about how we can creatively get this done. And are you open to some other ways? And just ask.
Yeah.
Someone will 1,000% be like, hell yeah. I've been dreaming of this day that a beautiful, talented woman walks in and offers me this.
Yeah. No, I've been thinking about that because I have a bunch of business cards and I just have not had the time to kind of go give them to people. So I've been thinking about going to like, you know, smaller businesses in Edmond, but that are definitely a business and they're not like a corporate kind of corporation. And they've already have like, I'm not going to go to Chick-fil-A and ask them if I can create video because they already have that. But like something a little smaller just to kind of get my foot in the door and be like, hey, like, do you need video or do you need any content? So I'm going to be working on that this summer, but yes.
I love that. And like, you know, and just to kind of point out the difference too, like besides putting out a post, like who needs free content? Like you're going to attract every like Dick and Harry and like, you know, they're just going to be like, yes, give me. And it's going to be the stupidest stuff. Like no offense to our listeners, but like really, but like this way you're controlling the narrative from the beginning, you know, like I'm thinking like the Barler just opened in Edmond. It's a brand new restaurant concept. They're, you know, it's like a drink and it's like upscale, like approaching them and being like, hey, I'm so excited that you just opened. I would love to do a featured video about you and, you know, come in there and shoot it. And like, just approach your clientele, those people that you want to work with.
Yeah.
I love it. So I think we have a little bit clearer picture kind of maybe some things that you're going to try and experiment with. Are you off school during the summer?
Yes.
Yes. So this gives you some creative time to balance exploring some things and hopefully also spending plenty of time with your kids while getting to do some things for yourself, which I think is so fun. And so I just want to say, like, I just want to thank you so much for being here as we kind of wrap things up. And I'd love to hear a little pitch of how you would approach one of those businesses in Edmond. Real quick, talking about kind of yourself, thinking about your value. I don't want to hear any imposter syndrome. And I want to hear you sell yourself to me, a business owner in Edmond.
Hi, my name is Haleigh and I own HD Media, which is a branding and marketing agency. And I would love to create some video content to showcase your business and kind of bring more clients into your business. If you're interested, I would love to schedule a video shoot and that's as best as I can do it.
Oh, that's pretty good on the spot. And like,
I'm very, that's like my biggest, I feel like, struggle is like being confident in myself. I'm just a very quiet person. So like, I guess talking about myself and what I can provide is just like, it's hard, but I'm working on it. So.
Good. It's an exercise. I have always been kind of like Lori is the salesperson on our team. I'm not a natural salesperson. When I was in college, I made myself compliment like 3 strangers every day. Like out in the wild, I would say something positive to 3 people just because I was like terrified of like putting myself out there. And that really helped me. Like it helped me be able to approach people and realize like, one, like you're making someone's day better. If you don't say something, they're never going to know that you had that thought. Like that's never going to be on the table because you kept it inside. And so reject. I love those experiments on social media where they're like, I ask something every day. It's like a rejection experiment, and they get yeses like 90% of the time. And it's crazy when you think about that. And you start to realize like no's really don't hurt that much. Like it's okay. It's like it's just kind of a fleeting moment. And so I invite you to kind of take that with you as we go forward, and like no's are okay. And it's like sometimes no's are not now, sometimes no's are not the right person, and like thank God they said no. And you know, and so thinking about it in that perspective, I think is a great place to like kind of leave your headspace.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, you did a great job. We put people on the spot a little bit. We know that, but it is a good practice. And Jenna's right. Practicing helps. Practicing in the mirror. We have a strategy lab that we do every month with people, and that's definitely something that we talk about when we work one-on-one or in our office hours or group time, is like practicing what you say, because you can get all the weird stuff out with us. And then you say stuff that you feel like much more proud of when it comes to that moment. And I just want to also say to everyone who's listening or watching, if you're in that same place, you're talented, you're growing, but you're just not quite working with or finding the right people, building toward that like lifestyle and business that you really started out for, we want to talk to you. I invite you to head over to becomethrive.com to apply to be a guest on the show and have your own reality check. The link is in the show notes for you. We will be straight with you about what we see, even if it's not what you were hoping to hear. That is how it all works. So stop pretending everything is fine and let's get to work. Thank you for making it to the end, and we will see you in the next one.
Success is a lie if you're failing inside. You can't grow a business you hate.